And we're back. Another episode. Still at the Porsche dealership. It's your boy again, the purveyor of all things pumpkin spice and pistachio, P&L, here with a very special guest. I'll let him introduce himself.
Sean Johnson, general manager at Porsche Brooklyn. We've been open about a year now, a little bit over a year, and we decided to collaborate and do something with hip hop and Porsche. Yeah.
You hear that? This man right here is a GM at not Porsche. So when you pull up here, don't look for him if you ain't situated, right? Like, be situated when you pull up. Yeah. But thanks for pulling up and chatting with us. I gotta ask, so where does your story start? Like, are you from Brooklyn? Like, what brings you to Brooklyn?
Yeah. So I'm from Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Born and raised through high school.
Like Brandon Marshall, all those guys up there?
Yeah, Brandon Marshall's actually from close to the neighborhood not far from where my mom lives at now.
That's
grew up
dope.
in the same area,
That's
right?
dope. That's
Aaron
dope.
Donald.
Okay.
Played for
he's a beast too.
Played football with his father. His father was before me. He was when I was a freshman. His dad was graduating.
You was a running back or quarterback?
I was running back. I was running back. Yep, Taylor Alderdice, and his father was a beast. And we all grew up. Curtis Martin. All those guys are from our area.
You said Taylor Alderdice.
Taylor Alderdice is the name of our high school.
Wiz Khalifa got a mixtape with that name.
Yeah, he went to school there. He went to school there.
Shout out to Wiz Khalifa too.
Yeah, went to school with my younger brother.
Oh, that's dope.
I'm from that area, and then I went to college at Lincoln University.
Okay.
And then,
shout out to New Chapter.
Yeah, actually, Cap Alpha Psi, Epsilon.
Listen,
Star East.
All good. I rock with the Kappas. It's all good because you're one of the coolest noops I've met.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it, bro. You're cool Alpha too, brother.
I appreciate it.
My cousin's Alpha too.
There we go.
Yep.
So you went from Pittsburgh. You said, I'm not going to Pitt. I'm going to Lincoln.
Right.
And then from Lincoln, did you play sports in Lincoln?
Lincoln, we didn't have our school. We played intramural sports at the time because we were still upstarting.
Okay. Yep. So then from Lincoln, what got you to the car industry?
So when I got left Lincoln, I actually started. There was like an intern program at Pathmark.
Shout out to Pathmark,
I remember Pathmark. Yeah, they closed down. And,
man.
At the time, Pathmark was paying more than anybody.
Wow.
And then we had to go through a real stringent process to get in there. And I fortunately had got in at the time, and I started when I relocated and stayed down in the Philadelphia, Delaware area.
Nice.
And I ended up working in Philly, but lived in Delaware. And,
where in Delaware?
Delaware, I lived in Wilmington.
Wilmington. Everybody
Delaware.
black live in Wilmington or Newcastle.
That's considered the city for Delaware.
I got a lot of family in Delaware. So I'm actually one of the few people that's not from Delaware that knows a lot about Delaware because I got family in Christiana, Newcastle.
That's where I got a house there in Newcastle now.
Okay,
still. I got a house, yeah.
I have family that lived on Ridley Court and Darien Court.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, all the place, yep. And Delaware's not that part, northern Delaware is not that big.
It's small.
It's a rock throw, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we go further south, it's bigger.
The Applebee's right there in that corner. Yep, exactly. The one Applebee's.
Everybody go there.
Exactly. But downtown Wilmington now, my pro fight is the city treasurer.
Okay.
Dwayne Sims.
Okay.
And
I think I know Dwayne.
Yeah. Good dude.
Yep.
Shout out to Dewey.
Yep.
He's helped build that up.
Yep.
So, like, I'm a big fan of downtown Wilmington.
Yep.
Nice area.
They changed everything. It's like same with New York. A lot of gentrification going on. The waterfronts are being developed.
Nice,
you know what I mean? So,
nice waterfront.
It's a necessary evil as long as they can keep it under control. You know what I mean? Because we got to give our people a shot to take advantage of some of these properties and everything they got going on. But
absolutely.
Yep.
So you were at Pathmark in the Delaware, PA area.
Mm-hmm.
From there.
I worked at Pathmark for about 5-6 years, whatever. And that's a tough industry, man, that supermarket industry. And Pathmark is a 24-hour store, too. And I worked in the inner city in North Philly and all those places. Man, dude, guns, whatever you could think of, I had been through, and it wasn't my idea of a career at some point, even though I was in management.
Hey, boo, I'm taking this cheesesteak, boo.
It was like that.
Me and my John is taking this cheesesteak, boo.
It was crazy. It was crazy, man. And, in certain areas of Philly, like the North Philly area was really rough. The South Philly area was rough.
Really rough. West Philly,
I
too.
worked around a mob, let's carry Joey Molino's white bags to the car and stuff like that. Man, I didn't want to carry nothing.
Yeah.
I'm like, but, they treat you right, though, if you're respectful. But needless to say, I stayed there. And then, at some point, I was moving up. I was nice store manager, and I moved up. But at that point, I was kind of burnt out. You know, so there was an ad for a car business, and I was like, in order for me to make the money I'm used to making, the car business has this, you know, you can make, you know, 70 or 80, $100,000 a year. I was like, you know, let me give it a shot. You know, and there was something in my backyard in Delaware. I was tired of driving to Philly.
You said $800,000?
It was, at the time, it was still even like they had, you know, you can make 60, 70, 80 to $100,000. I'm like,
wow.
you know, not knowing how you had to get there,
yeah.
but you thinking that it's something you just walk right into.
Yeah.
Don't quite work that way.
Yeah.
Needless to say, I gave it a shot. And I started out in sales, man, and when I went in sales, I kind of took off from the start, man. And within a year of being there, I ended up, and this was the Winter organization, which is in Newark, Delaware. And I want to shout out to the Hynanskis, man. They were a Ukrainian family, and I wouldn't be where I am today without them. Because
shout out to them.
They gave me my opportunity, and I always don't forget where I come from. And I started with that, and I worked within less than a year, man. I was a manager. I worked my way into management.
Ooh.
You know, there's certain things like, you know, it's like
achievement.
It's like I never thought some of the leadership qualities came out in me, you know, and Pathmark helped me do that. Of all the trials and tribulations, because I got out of school, I'm telling grown men what to do, and I'm dealing with unions and stuff like that. There's no life lessons for that. You gotta have life. There's no life lessons for that. School doesn't teach you that.
The only thing that teaches you that kind of stuff, honestly,
is experience.
Well, experience, but I was talking to somebody about this yesterday, and I feel like the people that succeed the most in most careers, whether it's the legal profession, sales, or people that have either played on the team, military, or are part of an organization.
Right.
Now, the D9 are all non-hazing organizations, right? But I feel like if you learn certain lessons,
it follows.
You can kind of navigate certain things and navigate the stress, because it's like, well, this is not like stress.
Right. You can compartmentalize it. You know how to deal with it. I've been here before, or I've been through worse. And that's what sports did for me. That's what pledging did for me, you know, and it put me through a lot.
Kappa Alpha Psi is a non-hazing organization. But yes, no, it's true. It's like if you play sports and you learn like deference, and then you are part of an organization and you learn deference, then you can kind of like, I play sports too, getting yelled at, and then the next day it's like, hey, good shot, or like good game, and knowing that it's not personal, but sometimes people are trying to drive you to be a better version of yourself.
Criticism. It's like you ain't great all the time. You mess up. You need somebody to put you in check or show you a different way of doing something, and you don't take it personal, because it's fair. Usually everybody gets it. You know what I mean? And you got a common goal, which is to win or be the best as you can be. And that's what sports do a lot, and that's what our fraternities, you know, teach you too, man. They put you through some stuff, but then you pull up and be like, man, I pull back on some of that stuff. Be like, I've been through some stuff that can get me through navigating and dealing with people. And that's usually that's harder than anything sometimes, dealing with people, because we're all different. You know what I mean? Everybody handle things differently. And if you know how to deal with different personalities, and that's what, and I don't want to jump around on you like even generationally, you know what I mean? And that's what kind of the younger generation don't kind of get. Like, you don't get this overnight. You know what I mean? I'm not where I'm at, and I'm not done. I got more. Way more I want to accomplish. But like, I hired a really young crew, and you got to mentor them and say, I didn't walk into this, right? I had to earn this. However I got here, recognition, reputation, integrity, whatever you name, and having the background I have, and like, it just kind of worked its way out, and it's consistent. It just doesn't happen overnight, and that's something that I try to, whoever I work with, work alongside, I try to get that knowledge to them too, and say, this is my path, and I can just tell you what I've been through to help you get to where you want to get to, whatever you try to do.
Dropping a lot of gems here, diamonds, no pun intended, right?
Diamonds, yeah.
Right? But you said that you have a younger, employee.
One of the youngest. They did out of all the Porsche dealers in the nation, 195. We probably have the youngest crew overall. The average age is 32 and a half.
And they see you, and they're like, well, Sean's cool. I can do what he do too. And how long have you been in this industry?
I've been in this industry 23 years.
So that's longer than
some.
They were 7 and you were starting out.
Starting out,
right?
Yep.
And so you've been in this for 23 years, and I think that's in most industries, right? Because unfortunately, like in the content industry, people are turning on a camera, and then they're going viral, because now it's like people get paid to like play video games and talk, like they're streaming,
right?
Or they make content and then they're talking about other men and women, and that's going viral, and they're getting money off of that kind of stuff.
Right.
But they're behind a camera and a screen, and they don't have like interpersonal skills. Like most people in a younger generation, this current generation, they make money on camera, but they're not. I don't like saying outside, but they're not like walking around interacting with people, and they don't understand when you put things into the ethos, into the world.
Right.
Back in the day, you had to stand on that. You had to be who you were, and your name would precede you.
Right.
Nowadays, people can create a persona online, and then hide behind. It's just the industry.
It's not real.
It's just the internet, right? But I think they never had that time in their life where they had to be who they were.
Right.
Like your nickname was given to you. You didn't wake up one day and say, I'm Hercules,
right.
or I'm Rambo.
You earned it.
Somebody called you that.
Somebody called you that.
Right? Like I'm Patagonia lattes because I drink a lot of lattes. Like I get joked over drinking pumpkin spice. That's my thing.
Right.
But I also wear Patagonia because it's like corporate bro wear, right? Like
right.
it's tech bro clothes.
Right.
And I'm in tech.
Tech, right.
Right. So it makes sense that I would be called Patagonia and lattes because I'm always walking around.
Because you had something that people can tangibly attach to you, and they see that's what as part of your image, your brand, what your characteristics, something you enjoy.
Right.
They can attach it to you and associate. And these.
If I call myself Panamera P and I drive a Subaru,
right.
It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
So I think it's a very important point. And the gem there is like, listen, a lot of this is not overnight.
Right.
Like it takes 10 years to be an overnight success, minimum.
Right.
Like they say it takes, I think, 1,000 hours or 10,000 hours. It takes like thousands of hours of doing something to be great at it, right? So even right now, you don't necessarily sell cars yourself, but I'm pretty sure you can sell a car.
I actually do.
Oh, you
I still got my own client base, man.
that's dope.
I'll transfer to somebody, but I don't forget where I come from. And that's how I started. I started in sales. And I don't put, like, when you move up, if your aspirations to move up, like there's some GMs, there's some owners that disassociate themselves in a business that's a people business. You know, I'm here and I don't involve myself. That keeps me sharp, meaning that and sometimes people, like when you deal with upper management, they can think that you're too close to that, but that's what I do.
Right.
That's what we are here for, is we deal with people. So how can I disassociate myself from our sales staff and our service staff and tell them to be happy, smile, kiss them and love them and all that stuff, and meanwhile I don't treat them the same or have that same kind of interaction with them. I think it's hypocrisy. It doesn't go together, right? And I think when you're in this business, you have to be, if you got a good charisma about you or you're gregarious, you like people, just show it. You're going to meet different. You learn a lot from customers when you deal with them on a daily basis.
Man, talking that talk. Yeah. I also want to peel back one more layer. So you're in Brooklyn now. Mm-hmm. Did you start out at a Porsche dealership somewhere else?
Originally?
Yeah.
So originally, back to when I started with Winter, it was with Ford. But they had multiple brands, huge Ukrainian operation. They controlled distribution overseas for Porsche.
Did you sell OJ his Bronco?
I ain't think right. Nah, that Bronco's infamous, man. But our company did own Porsche.
Okay.
So there was an opportunity. They had sold out. Owner went through some stuff with his family. They sold the company. I left for about a year. I got an opportunity to come back, and I came back. And the ownership put me in a role as a GM with Porsche,
nice.
And that was back in 2011. And so for 14 years, I've been almost in the general manager role. Woo. Only a short stint. When I transferred to Conshohocken, I was a GSM there, and then I went back into
Conshohocken is in PA.
In PA, for those who don't know, outside of Philadelphia. Yeah. And this opportunity came up here, and through reputation, I met the ownership nephew at a tailgate, actually, from a very close customer of mine. His name is David Drucker. They owned a liquor distribution company, very successful. And he said, I think you should meet this guy. He's my guy. He takes care of all my cars. 'Cause he used to buy cars from people up here, but he bought them from me in Delaware and Pennsylvania. So we met, and he's like, I might have an opportunity for you. And then
You met the owner?
The owner's nephew.
Of this dealership or the company?
Of this company.
I'm slow walking it because I want people to understand what you're saying, because I get it. It's like, to you, you're not like, oh my gosh. But I want people to understand that we're right now, we're sitting at the Porsche dealership that you manage.
I opened this whole thing. It was from brick and mortar to when I came here. There was none of this stuff here.
So this man opened up the Porsche dealership in Brooklyn and met one of the owners, like
nephew,
one of the owners' nephew of Porsche, and that meeting happening because of the energy he was giving to his day-to-day, his 9 to 5, gave him even more opportunity. And that shows you is like, regardless of what your day-to-day is, put the right energy out because you never know.
Reputation.
You never know where it'll take you.
Yep, reputation. And I give David Drucker and his family, David Drucker personally, that props for and that recognition for putting me in this situation, or helping me be in a situation by saying, hey, I got somebody you need to meet, and he specifically set it up that way. And we talked
dope.
and we hit it off, and that was it. And it happens to be that our VP, his name is John Kaufman, and I got to commend him as well, give me an opportunity, where he found out that through his nephew, like, I know this guy. He's like, he said, trust me, I know him. Because we were in this thing called a 20 group where all the dealers across the country, they put like 20 dealers from different areas, and you go over your financial statements. Some dealers are huge, some are mid-level, some are small. And I met John Kaufman about 10 years ago, and we were in the same group. And so their group, obviously, because Delaware is a smaller market, we did things, and I tried to represent myself, who I am, and I grew. We grew as an organization. So reputation superseded me. I wasn't there partying. We had our little thing we do together, but I was there to learn and try to get better at what I did. Because that's the only way you learn. You learn from other people. You don't know what you're doing right unless you're around other people who are doing even better.
Right.
So, and that's how it all worked out for me, man. And trajectory-wise, it's just been a steady climb, you know. You got to earn it, you know. I was listening to Rich Paul recently, man.
I watch right now. He's doing a lot of interviews right now.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of interviews, but the brother's dropping some serious knowledge, man. And it's real simplistic. He's not reinventing the wheel. It's about just presenting yourself well, right?
Definitely.
Like there's more to it. You know, you gotta, if you really, this overnight thing just doesn't work overall. You know, everything's not a Kardashian thing, right? Yeah. And he's like, you gotta build it. You gotta build it. And sometimes you gotta take the long path. Mm-hmm. And this, for some of us, some people, it works out real quick. It's how it works. But for most of us, we gotta keep grinding and being in the right spot at the right time, being around the right people, carrying yourself well, and building your brand, and your own personal brand, whatever that is. And then from there, you can see what happens from it, man. And you feel good about it. When you walk out on your own too and know that you're giving a good, honest try. What more can you add?
So that point you made about, like, I actually live by that, right? I say all the time, I tell people all the time, you never know how hard you go until you face competition.
Right.
Because in your mind, you could be selling 10 cars a day, and then you realize your colleagues are selling 35 and a half a day.
That's what it does, yo.
Right? So that kind of reorients you, and it's a good thing.
You gotta go up another level, or find out.
It forces you to kind of step your.
Or look at other avenues. Of how do I get there? Yeah. If you want to go there, you know, you might be cool at 10, but if you're not, you can't keep doing the same thing that you're doing to get 10. You got to do something else and see what the other person's doing, or to find out best practice to do the 20, 30 cars a month.
Definitely. So, since we're talking about cars, you know, one of the things that irks me in our community is that there's like these information hoarders, right? Like people get some game and they want to present their way of doing things as like the gospel. Mm-hmm. So, I want to ask you, as a successful GM in this business for 2+ decades, what's your thoughts on getting into a car? Do you finance? Do you say, I'm going to pay in cash? Do you lease?
Right.
What's your perspective?
So overall, leasing is the best way to go. And
say that one more time.
Leasing is the best way to go overall. I'll tell my mother that, my brother, my sister, friends, anybody I love, care about, don't know, whatever. Overall, it's the best way to go. It gives you more choices. If you got a business, you can write it off. It helps you there. When you get done with a lease, you can trade it. You can turn it in. Not worry about the volatility of the business, which is interest rates are high right now. Right, a lot of things change. Sometimes you might make it be a better move to buy your lease out, or maybe your company, whoever you're financing with, might allow you to extend it. You know, say, hey, we know things are different. We might let you keep the car for another 3 months and not have, and pay your payment. And then if things change, you can make decisions, or after 3 months come up, you make a decision, right? So there's a lot of flexibility in leasing. The only thing about leasing that a lot of people are afraid of is the mileage. Or I don't own it. If you're making payments on a car in a retail, you don't own it either. Right. You're still paying a bank. What you're doing is giving yourself a quicker chance to get out of that and pay them less. And you got more choice. You give yourself more flexibility And they work with you. The manufacturers work with you to get out of that car sooner anyway, because they want you to keep staying with the brand. They want to put you in something newer to keep you in. So I lease my cars. My wife works to lease cars. And once you touch that, I think there's another way to buy a car. You can pay cash if just the market's just screwed up.
Yeah.
If you got the money to pay cash for a car, God bless you.
Yeah.
Because they're really expensive now.
I walked the floor and I saw some of the stickers and I was just like, ooh, I'm gonna get one of those when my kids finish college. And they're 4 and 6 right now. I got a long way to go.
Yeah, long way. I don't know what your sports situation is, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
Lease it.
Yeah, so I mean, I saw the numbers. I'm blessed, so I'm in a position to where I could, in theory, drive one of these very nice automobiles. I see a 911 right there.
Yep.
Off camera, y'all can't see it obviously, but I see a 911. But I think the power of leasing, I've leased cars for like the last 5 or so years.
Yeah.
And my last one, when it was over, I kept extending it like another month. I would call them like, hey, I'm gonna stay in it. Hold on, I'll check your account. Oh yeah, fine. Yeah,
as long as you're paying good.
Right. And then during COVID, they were like, listen, if you bring this car back right now, we'll buy you out and put money in your pocket. I thought they were trying to game me.
Everybody did at that time.
But I didn't realize what it was, and the people said, no, there's a shortage.
Yeah.
And the great thing about leases, too, is that those are the best cars to actually buy, because if it's coming off lease and it's been maintained.
Because you got to maintain it.
But if you buy a pre-owned car off lease, it's great because, you know, everyone says don't buy a brand new car, and I agree with that, but getting a car off lease is great.
It's great.
It's been maintained.
It's a great transition because most times they maintain really well. The miles are low. People, because they know there's a part ownership.
Right.
It's your car, but the manufacturer is the leaser, right? They lease you the car. They let you rent it basically for 2 or 3 years with the option of, if you love it that much, you can keep it. If you don't love it that much, give it back to us. However, we got another one to put you in. If you want to do that, hopefully we can keep you coming back to us. You know what I mean? So, and Porsche does something that's unique to the business that nobody does. We have something called an early term lease program, right? So up to 12 months. So if your lease was at 36 months, after that 24th month, you have, in certain cases, you have opportunities to get out that car within 12 months with no cost to you. As long as your mileage is within your mileage, up to $2,500 a payment, they'll wipe them clean and put you in another car. So a lot of our customers take advantage of that. So you can start looking at a car at that 24th month, and some cars might qualify for 6, minimum is 3 months, max is 12. Some people start looking for a car within that 12 months out, and they might fall into that category. They can get out of their car early and get into another car with no penalty other than, you know, if there's damage or whatever. Yeah. Or you might get equity. You can see if it's still worth anything, because our cars do have a pretty high resale value. The market's changed and it's come down. But overall, cars when you lease them, most people end up in a pretty decent situation with them.
Can we get a Porsche LaRib? Can we get a Porsche LaRib?
I got you covered.
I want a Panamera. She said, okay, so.
There's a white one right in there. We get black, and then your Alpha, so we get your black one.
Here we go. I actually have a white car now, and I hate it. Like, I typically have black cars. I like white cars. I've dealt with Acura.
Yep.
I've dealt with Infiniti.
Yep.
I've dealt with. Actually, no. I'm not gonna be on camera plugging other brands.
That's all right. It's all good.
But I've always wanted a Panamera.
Yeah.
And I said I'll get one when the side hustles pay for it.
Yeah.
But I always thought they were very good cars, and I have friends who have them.
Yep.
I've driven them, and I'm like, it's a very nice machine.
Yeah, it's awesome. I can't. And I'm biased now, man, because then when I worked for Ford and we had the Porsche store, and as I go up to the Porsche store, I'd be like, what's the big deal? You know what I mean? And I knew they look cool and all that, but I'm like, whatever. And when I drove one, I was done. I drive an electric car now, all electric. Man. My wife drives one.
You guys have...
The Taycan is the all-electric car.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you if you had like an electric Porsche.
Yeah.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, the blue one I'm driving out there, and my wife has a white Taycan, and she at first was terrified of electric. And I told her, I said, trust me, you'll like the car. And now her lease is up soon.
Okay.
And what she wants, she was another electric car now. She fell in love with it.
So we got to talk, because we've looked at other brands in the same space.
Yeah.
Same price point.
Yep.
And I walked away from, I'll tell you, like off camera, what happened. But it was just like, I almost pulled the trigger, but I was like, I guess it was not serendipitous. I guess it was more so that wasn't a car for me.
Right. And the transition is going to be tough for people, right? To go fully electric. Hybrids are more easier transition because you can drive gas. You get both combustion and electric. But with the electric car, the infrastructure, New York being as an urban environment, there's not a lot of infrastructure for it up to that par yet.
Yeah.
But however, if you could charge within these boroughs, not that far in distance. And electric cars do really well in the city environment. Yeah. Because you're charging to stop and go. So I'm a big proponent, a big fan of it. We're trying to network with some of the local vendors who have these electric products, these charging stations that they want to put down here. Porsche being one of them, they'll brand their our pedestals down here and pay for it for Industry City. Nice. So I'm working on that with the management team, the ownership that owns this property, and Tesla also is coming through down here as well. Which
I want to plug other brands, but
it is it is what it is. It's competition. It's good competition. I believe we do have the best engineered cars personally, but there's not for everybody, right? But our brand is we're very diverse now. We can cover everything.
So people think of Porsche as like the rich white guy car, right?
And it's not that anymore.
Is there like an entry-level model? Like, if I'm like a transit worker, shout out to the MTA, but if I'm like a city worker and I like Porsche, what's like the entry-level one for the person that might just be making just at six figures or just like less than six figures? Like, what's like the
Macan.
The Macan.
The Macan is our entry-level vehicle. That falls in the, the high 50s, the 60s, 70s.
Okay.
It falls in range with a lot of cars, from Honda to, because their cars are expensive now too.
Yeah.
Their cars, Porsche, they're hitting 50, 60, 70, 80 Escalades, $120,000 now.
Never.
Right?
I'm not driving.
It's domestic. These are domestic cars, right? So people think that we're not affordable or we're not in the same ballpark because our cars, you can a la carte them. You can make it whatever you want. Behind us is our fitness studio. People can come in and build it the way they want if that's something they want to do, or they can take what we have that we built ourselves.
A lot of stuff.
So it's all the these are just examples of how you can custom make your car, right?
And you guys don't promo though, like
if we don't you don't see no marketing or advertising.
Only maybe like in a Rob report.
Yeah, it's like it's an aspirational brand. It's one of those things where there are people such as yourselves, you do, work your way, you're doing well for yourself, and you're doing these different things, man, to try to build a legacy and and earn an income. And for a lot of people, it's like, that's what, like you mentioned, the Panamera. It's an aspirational thing. Like that's the car that I'm striving, or something that I have that I want to say that I want to get one day. And that's how I was with Porsche. Like when I first started working, I was like, I can't get one of these bad boys just yet, right?
Keyword is yet.
Right. That's how it was, right?
That,
And then I say, you know what? As I keep working in this, I want to get to where I say, if I could buy one now when I want to do it, and that happened,
that's
it
dope.
takes time, so but it's a phenomenal car, man.
That's dope. I mean, all right, those are the soft questions. Now we got the tough ones in the lightning round. Tough questions. Yep. All right. First one is, what do you prefer? Pittsburgh life or Brooklyn life?
Brooklyn. I love my hometown. Sorry, Pittsburgh. And they've done a lot, but Brooklyn. Okay, and why is that? It's diverse, man. There's so much to do. You know what I mean? If you don't want to get into nothing, you don't have to. You ain't got to chase it. Yeah. It's there. If it's something you want to get into, like what we're doing right now. Yeah. These kind of things don't happen in environments like where I come from. Opposite maybe even the Philadelphia area. Yeah. But even that was kind of rural outside of the area. This happens here. You know what I mean? This is something where you can just expand your horizon a little bit more and get more notoriety. Because I want to brand our store as much as possible anyway. You got myself, African American. You got my GSM is African American. Nice. This is the opportunity that was provided to us here, and they allowed me to hire everybody in here. And gave me that free rope, man, and it's that's dope. I don't want to go off your question, but
no, keep going. And GSM is General Sales
Manager. Okay. His name is Fred Smallwood, man. That's good brother, and he's doing very well for us.
That's dope, man. That's dope. Pittsburgh sports teams or New York sports teams?
Pittsburgh sports team.
Okay.
I was gonna cut you off.
Wait, is that all of them? Is that Steelers, Pirates,
Die Hard,
Penguins, all of them?
Die Hard.
Pit two.
Yep.
Oh man. So you would take Kenny Pickens over No, okay.
Roethlisberger's a better quarterback. But Pickens he's a bad boy. he born, home raised a Pitt,
Yeah.
but Roethlisberger's he's a Hall of Famer.
I followed him in college.
Yeah.
The fact that you guys drafted him was kind of dope. All right, so cheesesteaks or chopped cheeses?
Cheesesteak.
Okay.
Just got one. I missed one so bad. I got one at Jersey Mike's.
Jersey Mike's.
I haven't had cheesesteak in months, and I was like, I got a chicken cheesesteak, and it calmed my palate down a
There
little
you
bit.
go.
So yeah.
You got a go-to spot in Philly for your cheesesteaks?
My favorite place was Jim's on South Street.
Okay.
It's on 10th and South, I believe 10th and South. That was my favorite place. But in Delaware, we had Capriati's.
Okay.
Which was a really good place. And my favorite, though, in Delaware was Yahtzee's. It was in
Okay.
Wilmington. Yahtzee's, man, everything fresh ingredients.
Yeah.
Like you go to these
Yeah.
Wawa, stuff like that, fresh ingredients, cheesesteaks were the best.
I haven't been to spots in Delaware, but I've been to like Tony Roma's. Tony Luke's.
Tony Luke's is
Tony
good.
Luke's.
That's
Tony
my
Luke's.
spot, too. They got extra sharp probe.
Yeah.
And I like the extra sharp probe.
Yeah. Been there, and I've been to Geno's and Max's, but
And commercial.
yeah, when I was younger, I would walk in, I'm like, let me get a Philly cheesesteak. And it's like, listen,
Go to-
New York, you're in Philly. Don't say Philly cheesesteak.
Yep.
Say cheesesteak,
Cheesesteak.
say cheese whiz.
Yep.
I'm like, okay, let me get a Philly cheesesteak. And like, you know what? We're not serving you.
Right.
It was like a,
Dude, you said those two stores, that's where you can't go to those two places and order like you would go to a regular place and say,
Yeah.
I want this. No, you got to be on it.
You gotta
right?
be on it.
And
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
And it was all right.
yeah,
The best places are the more
like local ones.
the little more intimate spots.
I like
you know?
Tony Luke's because I bought it and I maybe had enough cheesesteaks for like 4 days. It was massive and it was so nice.
It was big, yeah, it was good.
It was
though.
nice. It was
Yeah,
good.
Tony Luke's was good though, because that's
Yeah.
a Pathmark I used to want to manage, and Tony Luke's was down the street, so I would walk down there and get my little cheesesteak extra sharp pro,
Yeah.
hook it up, yeah.
Now that's
Yep.
dope. 9/11 or Panamera?
9/11, and Panamera at first was my favorite. Taycan is now. If
Okay.
you ask me Taycan 911, I said Taycan, but 911 iconic, man. Once you drive that true sports car, you drive that car, ain't nothing like it, man.
There you go.
Yep.
There you go. And last one is, would you rather live in a Brooklyn brownstone or like a Brooklyn high rise?
Damn, that's a good one. Because the high rises now are nice. They're real nice now. You know what I mean? It depends. If I could own one of those in the high rises, it's a tough up. But I think I would lean more towards a brownstone. Because every time me and my wife ride down, through all these streets, and we look at these brownstones and people who got the really nice place, they got the windows open.
Big
I'm looking at these
windows,
things
high-
like,
yeah.
damn, it's like
Porsche. It's fully customizable.
Yeah, and that's one of the ones that's aspirational now. Because
Yeah.
they ain't cheap. So it's like how
They
do
used
I-
to be.
Yeah, they used to be.
Yeah.
And God bless the people who stayed in them long enough to do it. But that's the one I'm trying to get to now. We're looking at places, but I would say brownstone edges out a little bit.
Okay. See,
Yep.
tough questions as I said, but tough but lighthearted. So we're right now here at a fashion show celebrating hip hop. A lot of hip hop legends out there and that kind of stuff.
He rock.
As we wrap up and we conclude, what message would you have to the people that are gonna watch this? And typically on YouTube and wherever else, there's like but he did it because he probably had he had it easy,
Yeah.
or his parents gave it to him, or whatever. What would your message be to those that are gonna watch this and try to figure out their entry point,
Right.
or their way of saying, you had it easier than me, so that's why your story is not less compelling, but it's like, I think people rationalize people's success and they'll say,
Right.
you had certain advantages or you had certain kind of handouts. What's your message to those that are gonna watch this and need a tidbit to jump off the couch and get going on their own?
I would say the biggest thing for myself, I grew up projects in Pittsburgh, and it seems to be I don't make that a common point or refer back to that's always our story, but it's having the right people around you. And I think that's one of the biggest things, right? I attest a lot of places that I've been, whatever's considered successful, is being around the right people, man. It's important. People who support you and support who you are. If you're a good person, and it should be around good people. You know what I mean? We all grew up in situations where you could go left or right. You got to make a choice, right? And nothing was given to me. I think I've earned everything that I've gotten to where I'm at this point. And I couldn't be there without being around the right people. I think that you have to, you have to learn. You have to be willing to learn. You got to be humble. I think a lot of things that, especially when I'm talking about from a black man perspective, is that we got to play positions sometimes. You know what I mean? You got to be flexible in how you enter. Like you got to sometimes somebody got to be the man. Somebody got to be the woman. And you got to everybody don't get a gold jacket, but you can get a jacket too. And you can ride with that. You know what I mean? You can build this together.
I need you to like re-roll the entire thing because you're dropping a lot of nuggets. So it's great, right? But it's like you said like a few points that I want to unpack. So the first one you said is sometimes somebody else got to be the man or the woman, right?
Right.
So that's one. Sometimes it's okay to let somebody else
take the lead,
and your time will come, right? Second one is everybody don't get a gold jacket, right? Everybody's not gonna make it to the Hall of Fame at the NFL level, but you might get a team jacket.
Still make it to have a good career.
Right, and even if you don't get a team jacket, you might still get a jacket and the opportunity to feed your family and yourself.
That's what you gotta look at the bigger picture.
And the other one too is like the interactions.
Yeah. Yep.
It's like moving transactionally
Right.
and I think this is what you're saying. If it's not, please let me know. But I think being transactional is a detriment, right? Like it's not always about what someone can do for you. Just be your authentic self in places. And the fourth one is surround yourself with people that are like-minded, right?
Even more,
or aspirationally
higher than you.
Put yourself in rooms where you can kind of get information.
Inspire you to be. It's not going after what they have. It's say, how can I be a part of that, or how can I even what I'm trying to do? How can I make myself better or be better at what I need to do to get there? And I try to go through with my daughter. You know what I mean? Try to say, hey, I work my butt off, right?
Right.
And I'm out here grinding, not just for myself. It's just for our family, the legacy, and say when I hang it up and say, yo, that was a good dude. He really put people on where he could put people on. He was real and kept it forthright. I don't have all the answers, but I got to go by what I experienced, and I think that especially if you got to be around the right people to get this done. You know what I mean? And if people don't want to pull away from that, it's okay. It's not for you. Everything for everybody. It's okay, but I don't got no discard against you. I don't hate. You can do your thing, but this is what I'm trying to do. And if you are like-minded and you could be better, I'm not afraid that if you know more than I do, hey, tell me. Give me input. And that's your thing. And you'll get credit for that. I don't care. And I don't like my title. I told when I have meetings, we have meetings every Tuesday. It's not about me. It's about us. When we do well, that's us. When we do bad, I put that on me because that comes with the crown of it all. But end of the day, though, like I really took our time when we hired. I had an opportunity to try to put this in effect, and overall it has worked out. We have hardly any turnover. Got good young people that really see through myself that there's a rainbow, there's a crest to this. I can get somewhere with this, and hopefully they do. Hopefully it all works out. So.
Even more gems, like y'all can break those down, but as I can see, like success is not one thing. Like being successful, there's no monolith, there's no one person, but the common thing is your ethos, how you put out what you put out, and folks like yourself being in Brooklyn is a benefit.
Right.
I think people think of transplants and people moving in as sometimes they change this stuff, but it's like bringing in folks like yourself. Every hood is the same, every project is the same,
no matter
basic.
Where you're at.
Pretense. So for folks that want to find you, I don't know if you want to put out your personal socials. If you want to put those out, please do. And also for the Porsche brand, if people want to, shop Porsche,
yep.
Porsche Brooklyn.
PorscheBrooklyn.com.
PorscheBrooklyn.com.
Yep.
Are you guys also on Instagram, Twitch?
Yes, we're on Instagram,
TikTok, all that kind of stuff.
On all that stuff. Porsche Brooklyn. And you'll find us, and you can reach out to myself if you have any questions or want to come see a car or just stop by to visit the facility. This place is unique, too, across the country. No other store looks like this. It's very inviting. It's very warm. It's like more like a boutique-ish type setting. So just come by and just see us. We got a really good staff here, really good employees. It's a good environment to be in.
Definitely. Is there anything on the personal side you want to promote, like any personal nonprofits, any like personal IGs, anything like that that you want to promote too?
I don't have much, like I try to, we do a lot of stuff with some local like schools and stuff, coat drives and stuff like that. Industry City this is a dope area,
yeah,
man.
It is.
They do a lot of stuff.
Nets upstairs.
The nets upstairs. So we do a lot of stuff with locally that promotes this area and give back to the community. We support each other. It's a lot of give back to the community, but overall, this is almost my life, man. because I treat this like it's my own, and I know there's people I work for, but they allow myself and our team to run it like it's our store, And when we mess up, I get talking to, but when I don't, they let you keep running your thing and do what you got to do. So this is right now. I'm really dug in this thing right now. Yep.
Thank you again for your time. Thank you for opening up your doors at Porsche Brooklyn. We're at a luxury dealership at a hip hop fashion show. It's a bunch of y'all can't see off camera obviously, but if I look out, I see hip hop legends.
Pete Rock being one of my favorites.
He's like right there, but it's also this man's a legend in his own right because of what he's accomplished, but also your humility is inspiring, and we're grateful for your space, for your time. You were walking out to go home and gave us your time, so we're definitely appreciative of that.
Appreciate it, no problem, man. Yeah, I was going to walk my dog and come back, but I would definitely want to give you the time.
I appreciate
you took the time to be here, so I want to make sure I sat down with you and chat. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate you.
I appreciate it, man.
Tap in, go check out Porsche Brooklyn, and we're out.